Welcome, everyone, to the first test broadcast with Foxworth Autosport. We're streaming some radical races here, and we're joined today by CJ Harden in the broadcasting booth instead of the driver's seat.
Yeah, figured trade out my fire suit for a suit and tie and try my hand here at broadcasting. We'll see how it goes. Looks like James Watson just finished up his qualifying run with a 22.821 as his fastest. Doesn't seem to be too quick, although I'm sure a lot of the practice times we see here were in the draft and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not sure where. I guess the timing will. Yeah, I guess the timing will come up as people finish their laps. Let me put up the standings. Actually, that should have the actual times. Yeah, the fastest times there. Let me see if there's a better place for this. Gotta unlock it.
Looks like Garrett Hagan and Tim Dell's out on track now.
Here for now.
Garrett coming around to start his first timed lap or finish his first timed lap. Tim coming out to do his warm up lap. And Garrett goes top of the board in his first lap, 22.733. Up almost a full tenth over James Watson.
We got quite a few drivers in the session, but I don't know how many are actually going to race with us. Looks like it might be a light night, as I think. Did someone just crash? This is a individual race lap, I think, right?
Yeah, these are individual qualifying. Looks like we'll have 5 cars unless somebody joins in late here. We have Dakota Todd, Garrett Hagan, James Langevin, James Watson, Timothy Dells.
Got 2 James and only 5 drivers. What are the odds?
Team James showing up strong.
Yes.
Ooh. Looks like Tim not quite able to catch up to Garrett there. He did get past James Watson, however, so Tim currently sitting in second place with a time of 22.810. Just leaves James Langevin and Dakota Todd left to qualify.
Yes. Welcome to the stream, Simply Drawn. This fantastic 5-car race, exclusive club. Definitely not a lack of drivers. Definitely intentional.
So it's leading edge sim series. Less is more.
Yes, exactly. I don't think anyone's qualifying.
Just to let everybody in, as far as fuel run, we have no idea what a fuel run is, so that'll be interesting to see. The race should be, looks like it's going to be 100 laps, so I imagine they will have to stop for fuel at least once.
CJ,
Again,
that is 400 left turns, just for your information.
that is 400. Potentially, 600 if you count the front straight as half of a left turn.
That is a fair point. Yeah. Is there any idea why this is called The Rock? Because I'm looking for Dwayne Johnson out in the crowd, and I do not see him.
Well, using my very fine detective skills, I'm going to assume the rock comes from Rockingham, where the track is located.
That could quite possibly be it, but I much prefer the Dwayne Johnson route.
I'm on board with that. They could get like the Dover monster or whatever, but just a giant statue of the rock.
Welcome to the stream, YMG Hagen. It's kind of rocky, apparently. So that is another theory, a running theory. Please drop your theories into chat as to why this is called The Rock.
It's just a theory, a track theory. And we're copyright striked.
I'm pretty sure we were already copyright strike by using the Rock as a name. Who came first, Dwayne Johnson or this track? Which one predates the other?
Oh, that's actually a good question. I'll find that out for you. Meanwhile, James Langevin just wrapped up his qualifying, it looks like, with a 22.980, so he's currently starting in 4th.
That is a good theory, simply drawn, because it's shaped like a rock.
I mean, technically, a rock can be shaped like anything, though.
I mean, technically, I guess. Let's see if we can get some nice scenic views here of the track. It does say The Rock on the side there. It's a Budweiser logo. How long did he make this session, by the way? 15 minutes. Lovely. I
I
I feel the pain of Brian now.
no, I assume he is going to be advancing the session. Also, to answer your question, Rockingham opened October 31st, 1965, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson was born May 2nd, 1972. So technically, Rockingham came first.
That's fair. I mean, The Rock is eternal, though, so can we be certain that he didn't come first?
I do not have an answer for you.
Alright, I assume, yeah, I am live. Just double checking. No one else is on track. Oh, did he just advance it? I think he did.
He did, yes.
Fantastic. We have
So we'll see
five
if
viewers on this test broadcast. We have equal viewers as to cars.
Listen, less is more.
Less is more. That is the iRacing.com pace car, the Mustang. All right, looks like people are gridding up now.
I'm interested to see if Dakota Todd is going to make the grid or not. He didn't seem to turn in a qualifying lap, but he is still in the session. So
Garrett is revving to go right now. As people are getting onto the track. We'll run down the order. I know it's really confusing with 4 cars, but we'll run down the order once everyone loads in.
it's like we are just waiting on James Watson and Dakota Todd right now to take the grid.
Well, maybe they're stuck in the garage.
Could be, some last second changes to the car. Really dial in that setup.
I think everyone might be on the grid now. So I think on pole is Garrett Hagan, followed by Tim Dells, followed by James Watson, and then James Langevin is your grid today. I think I need to relaunch my ATVO.
Yeah, and an all James lockout there in the second row. Interesting to see. We've driven with Garrett for a few seasons now in the Leading Edge Sim Series, so he usually is very strong in qualifying. It'll be interesting to see if he's able to translate that over to the race or not. Tim, as always, is usually pretty strong anywhere we go, but
exactly. What you don't know about Garrett is that he wilts with pressure, but this is a fun race, so there's no pressure, so he'll obviously dominate from start to finish.
This is true, yeah. With no pressure, he might just run away and show everybody how it's done.
So this is the first time in like a year, maybe 2 years since they've run radicals in this league. So there's going to be a lot of rust there. I don't think James Watson James Langevin has run the radicals here before. So it's just going to be James Watson as a newbie here.
I know we did do a short race, I think, between the last season and this current season we're in. At Long Beach, where we ran the radicals, but obviously Long Beach and Rockingham, a bit of a different track there.
Yeah, much different race. What might actually be more interesting with 4 cars on the grid in Long Beach.
I mean, they're similar in more ways than you think. I mean, they're both racetracks. They both have pavement. There's walls.
Those are all true.
Technically the truth. Very similar racetracks.
Very similar. I mean, if you want to go like, oh wow, there's already contact leading up to the grid there between Tim Dells and Garrett Hagan.
You hate to see that. I think Tim just lost focus already early on, and
I think there's a rivalry brewing here. We'll see if it takes the flag here as the pace car pulls off. And we are green.
Oh, good start from Tim Dells there. He goes along the outside of Garrett Hagan. Both Jameses are side by side as we go into turn 1.
Yeah, looks like Garrett's up in the lead. James Watson has a good run down this straight. James Langevin looking to follow him through. Tim might be biding his time here. He said that he loves this track. Oh, wait, nope. He's in the slipstream, and he's taking it 3 wide into turn 1.
Oh, just a moment too soon there.
I don't think anyone's going to take it easy tonight. It's a fun race. There's no championships on the line. Of course, there's a heated championship battle in the Tuesday series in the P217, so I think this might be a nice reprieve for some of these championship leaders.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tim and Garrett, two of the leading drivers for the teams vying for championships, and yeah, I'm sure this will be really good for those guys just to kind of blow off some steam. Maybe I know they have 3 fast repairs, so it might be a good chance for them to kind of show them how they really feel, if you know what I mean.
Exactly, and James Watson getting a little out of shape there on the bottom yellow line, the butter sticks as we call it in this league. And yeah, it looks like he held on to it there, and yeah, it's just been side by side between him and Tim Bells for the last couple laps.
Yeah, from my understanding, this is very typical of the Radicals, especially on ovals. It's a lot of pack racing, even mile and a half tracks, probably even 3/4. They basically turn into super speedways type races, so it's all about just surviving and making it there to the end as we cross the line to start lap 5.
Yeah, now I'm trying to find where to change the lap count on the on the thing, so you can vamp for me. That'd be great.
Oh, did you lose your lap count here?
No, it's so on the regular standings. It is a it's still the number or the timer.
Ah, I gotcha. You want me every time we cross the line? I could do like crew chief and just say we're beginning lap 7.
You can just commentate while I do this.
All right. Looks like Garrett Hagan has fallen back. I think he's definitely taking into that strategy of just kind of keep the car together and don't fall too far behind where you don't have a chance at the end, but definitely don't want to risk it all early on, even with those fast repairs. It always just kind of takes a little bit out of you if you have an early crash and then have to fight your way back into it. There's James Watson looking at the inside of Tim Bells going into 1 here. It looks like he's going to be able to clear him. Tim looks like he's going for slide job on him here, and he is now underneath James Watson going into 3. So it's really just it's a revolving door here at the lead. Nobody can really pull away from anybody. These cars are so draft dependent on ovals.
Yep. I'm gonna be honest. I can't find where to change this info, so we're gonna roll with it.
This is why it's a test broadcast.
Exactly. I did put a test broadcast in the stream title, therefore we're not liable for anything.
Yep. Fox with Autosport is not liable for damages. I can't talk fast enough to do the little bit there, but
it looks like side by side between James Langevin and Garrett Hagan as well in the background. But yeah, I think they both might be kind of trying to take it easy. I don't know if tire wear or fuel is going to be an issue around here, but it never hurts to save.
No, it definitely doesn't. Usually save early and save often. Just opens up the door for strategy, really. Again, I was not around in the league whenever this was the car of choice, so I don't know, how these cars handle on long stints or how the tire wear is, and we weren't able to get a fuel number from anybody, so we're all going to be surprised and taking this as we go, really.
There's damage on the rear of James Watson here. I don't know where that came from, but there's definitely damage there.
Oh, I think I know where it came from. I think it came from the 84 there, Tim Dell's trying to be a little bit too aggressive bump drafting.
It looks like a very bent rear and some wing damage as well, so that can't be helping him out there on this track. This is a shorter track, and I don't know how much he got to lift to get around these corners, but he seems to be holding on to it very well.
Yeah, Tim Dell's loose in the wall, and that'll be a caution. Loses it all by himself.
That is quite the crash. Let's get a replay of that, see if there's anything going on. We'll get a rear chase cam here. Yeah, he just turned in too much, got on the butter sticks, and went straight into the wall. That is a heavy rear damage.
What I do wonder, though, is we saw James Watson kind of come down and get right behind Tim Dell's there. I wonder if that was some sort of aero loose condition he was experiencing, or if it really was he just got on the butter stick and lost it all.
Well, it's possible. Let me see if I can see any difference. That's possible, yeah, because air is a liquid, as we find out.
Looks like everybody will be coming down pit road here on this lap 14 caution.
Let me get to live then. That's
Interesting to see who's gonna have issues here.
Lane.
There's always one that misses their pit box.
Looks like Garrett has a lot of damage as well.
Oh yeah, his car looks worse for wear there in the back than even James Watson does. Hopefully, if his car is driving fine. Hopefully he unchecks his fast repair. You don't want to use those up early. Although it doesn't look like anybody did uncheck it, as I saw the back end of all those cars pop out, kind of like a soda can.
I don't think there's infinite. Let me see if I can see the info here. If there's any fast repair limit is 3, so they got 3 of them for 100 laps. And we do got some breaking news in the chat that Rose texted Simply Drawn a pic of her new pencil holder. So this is very important as James Langevin spins in the pits.
Oh. That he does. That is very unfortunate. Doesn't look like he picked up any damage though, so if he can get this thing going the right direction here and get out of the way before the pace car comes around, he should be fine.
Simply Drawn, if you can send that picture to Foxworth on Discord, I can show it on stream. I think everyone is waiting to see what this pencil holder looks like.
Alright, it looks like our new running order after our first pit cycle is going to be Garrett Hagan in first, James Watson second, Tim Dills in third, and James Langevin bringing up the rear in fourth. I'm interested to know why those pit stops took so long for everybody except for Tim Dills, though. It seemed like he got out a lot faster than everybody else, even though he's now scored in third. I'm not really sure.
Do I have pit stop timer? I think there is an option for pit stop timer.
I actually have the information here. It looks like Tim was in pit lane for 38.2 seconds total, 10.3 in the box. Garrett Hagan was on pit road for 47.6 seconds, 19.5 in the box. James Watson, 49.1 on pit lane, 21.2 in the box. And James Langevin, a minute 9.7 on pit lane, but only 0.7 seconds in the box. So I'm not sure if that's just an issue with the telemetry or if he maybe just took a fast repair and then spun out there when trying to leave the box.
I think what probably happened is he spun out, clipped his box, and it counted as him going in the box again, and that's why it was so little.
That wouldn't make sense. Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like Timothy Dells with the quickest lap time, but he's obviously to the back because of he brought out the caution.
Oh, that does make sense. Yeah. Looks like we'll be going green this time by though. Lights are out on the pace car. I'm interested to see if Garrett Hagan's going to fall to the rear again, if that was a strategic choice, or if he's just got too much damage, maybe, because the rear end of his car did look very beat up when he came down pit road.
I'm going to hop on the roll bar of James Watson here on the restart. That's a fantastic start from Garrett.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to switch over to TV2. Okay. Looks like everyone's in line here. I'm going to take a couple laps on this roll bar cam. See if he can catch up to Garrett Hagan here.
Ooh,
some air
Garrett
wash.
did not have a good quarter there. He lost about 2/10 and counting to James Watson.
Yeah. There is a draft here, despite how small this track is. Ooh, that is very close to the wall. James Watson is really closing in here. The pole sitter is not showing any pace right now, as James Watson is sizing up a move and goes to the outside.
Yeah, it looks like Garrett will be able to hold him off at least through 1 and 2. Be interesting to see what he tries here. James Watson, that is, going into 3. Looks like he's going to try and take the inside this time around. I have a feeling it's going to work.
Yeah, and that's a fantastic move from James Watson there. We'll see if Garrett's more comfortable in the draft here, but he's going for a move around the outside. That's going to bring Tim Dells into this picture here. What happened to James Langevin? Just seems to be off the pace here.
I don't think anything happened to Langevin. I think he just kind of had a slow restart and just ticking off laps, it looks like. I'm going back now to see if there was anything of note, but yeah, he gets passed by Tim going into 3 on the restart lap, and he's just been taking him off ever since. Doesn't look like anything happened to him there.
Maybe there is a strategy behind it. We'll have to see if it pays off. Welcome to the stream, Kagan. Broadcasting a little fun race tonight. Throwback to the Radicals.
Garrett came over to the iRacing chat and said, "Hello, Kagan."
He's one.
I'm curious to see what Garrett's plan is here, because he keeps trying the high lane. I don't know if he's just trying to save his tires, or if he really thinks he's gonna be able to, make a move up there or something. But it doesn't seem like these cars have the power to really, get around somebody on the outside. It looks like so far you're gonna have to go on the inside if you want to make a pass on somebody.
Yeah, James Watson is kind of kissing that butter stick down there and really playing with fate, but he seems to be holding on to it.
Ooh, he did tighten up there on corner exit, almost got into Tim Dells.
This guy's going 3 wide, and look who's coming back at this pack here is James Langevin. He's right back up in this.
Yeah, with these guys fighting 2 and 3 wide, it's not a surprise that he was able to make up that ground pretty quickly. I think he might have fallen back a little bit there in the restart just to kind of protect his car and prevent himself from getting beat up, kind of like we saw the other 3 drivers when they came down pit road. Because that was one thing I did notice whenever everybody pitted was James Langevin's car didn't seem to have a lot of damage.
Yeah, I imagine that
a bold move from Tim Dells there, splitting everybody and getting on the inside of James.
Oh!
And
disaster!
He locks it down, but that's a caution.
That is twice that Tim Dells has spun it. He's pushing way too hard. Let's see if we can get a better angle of that. See what occurred.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic move coming down the front straight. Cuts between both the Jameses and gets down the apron to get on the inside for James Watson, and he just overcooks it in the corner, loses it, and then she gets just a little bit of a left tap from James Langevin and sends him to the outside wall.
I don't know if James actually tapped him. Let me see. I think, yeah, no, a little bit of a neck code tap. Because I saw.
Oh yeah, I do see that now. Yeah.
His body like scrunched up a little bit, but yeah, that's twice into the wall for Tim Dells.
And it's very uncharacteristic. I don't know if he's just very relaxed right now because it's not a big stakes race or what the deal is. Oh, some strategy from Garrett Hagan, staying out.
Yeah, faked them out. There's some damage on James Watson's car as well. I think a lot of people are bump drafting here and just getting some damage on the rear. So.
Yeah, as strong as a lot of these cars that have fenders are not open wheel cars tend to be, I think these are they're very fragile in that they'll get damaged very easily, but it won't be undrivable, if that makes sense.
Yes, there's plenty of legged, another legged. Yeah.
Looks like no fast repair, but tires for James Watson.
Kagan is requesting us to broadcast his solo driving someday. So we'll show up to a practice session and we will commentate as he turns right and left.
Oh, man. So,
we don't get many right turns out here.
Yeah, that seems like a bit too much for my brain, honestly. Once you start turning right, everything just kind of mixes together.
Not to mention the legged. I don't even know which direction legged it is. But that is some intense directions.
All right, so pit road time. James Watson very quick on pit road. And I know he took tires. I saw the car come up, so I don't know if these are similar to the P217s where a lot of the time comes from, fueling. But it looks like 38.6 seconds in pit lane for James Watson. and then 48.3 and 49.6 for Tim Dells and James Langevin, respectively. I mean, Watson was a full 10 seconds faster in the box than, Tim and James. So I don't, Tim and other James, I should say. So I don't know. I'm not sure what the difference was there and what they did for strategy. If fueling these cars takes that long and the tires are actually relatively quick, or what the deal is there. But that's very interesting, and also very interesting for Garrett Hagan to stay out. He's 15 laps into the stint, and I would assume by the fact that these guys have come down every time there's been a caution, fuel is questionable at best.
Yeah, there are unlimited tire sets, so there's like no really strategy for him not to come down, but we'll see if it pays off. And Simply Drawn in chat does declare that she is the biggest racing fan, as we can tell, and she totally knows what's going on. So that is a challenge to everyone that calls themselves a racing fan. Number one racing fan is in our chat right now.
You love to see it. You really do. Pace car lights are out, so it looks like we're going to be going green this time by.
And we're almost
One thing that will be fun to see here is how the tires make a difference, because I don't know if I just didn't catch it last time we had a pit cycle, but I don't know if anybody took tires. So seeing James Watson take, I'm going to assume probably at least rears, because it seems to me that was what happened with Tim, maybe, was the tire wear just got to him and he lost the back end.
Yeah, it could be a tire heating issue as well. Of course, we just experienced the worst possible track ever at Auto Club with tire heating.
Yeah, that was a rough one for sure.
All right, we'll see if Garrett Hagan can get a quick start like he did last time out.
Yeah.
The pace car is off. It is up to him to decide. James Watson is hugging the rear there, pushing him along and crashes him out. What is this? Shenanigans on the restart.
Oh.
Is that not a caution?
Sure.
There's the yellow flag.
Caution flag is back out. I am not sure what just happened there. I think, you know what I think we should do? I think we should call in maybe, see here. I think maybe we should call in Tim Dells, because he seemed to get into the back of Watson, who got into the back of Garrett.
We do not have the dragging power.
We do not have the dragging power.
You can pop down and ask him to come into the booth if you want.
I will do that. We'll see.
Yeah, there's only 4 drivers tonight. It's a fun race. Yeah, that's dangerous driving, man, indeed. Just really got pushed. Such a shame for Garrett there.
All right. So here in just a moment, we're gonna talk to Tim Dells. Speaking of which, there he is.
Welcome to the stream, Tim Dells, owner of the league. What happened on that restart?
Garrett was dragging his brakes to get some temperature there, and James said something like "go," like "are we going?" And so he got on the gas, and I got on the gas, and Garrett wasn't on the gas. So we plowed into the back of him.
Yeah, I was very confused. A comedy of errors. Thankfully, this is not for serious points, but I'm sure there would be a lot of mixed words in Tuesday Night League. That was
yeah, there definitely would. Oh boy, and James just crashed under yellow.
What is this?
What?
He Roman Grosjean'd it into the wall.
This is a kangaroo race. What's happening right now?
Since we don't have a court, it's a race.
Yes, sir. So what can you tell me about?
You pass me, buddy.
So what can you tell me? What happened with these 2 cautions, or the 2 cautions before this one, though?
Well, the first one was really me. I had too much wheel in it, and the car unloaded. In the case of the second one, I think it was more just I went for like a pretty hard crossover move, and the car was just didn't have grip when I got to 1, and so the right rear just slid out on me. My eyes were bigger than my abilities. We'll go with
Okay.
that.
So it wasn't a temperature issue, it was just an asking too much of the tires in a moment sort of issue?
No, it was asking too much of my ability at the moment. Cause the tire wear here is very minimal. So like that first pit stop, I didn't even take tires, which was I think why I was quick in the first couple laps and was able to get by James and then get up there to those guys because they had to wait a lap or two for their tires to come in and mine were already scuffed. No, I was just asking more of the car than I had the ability to manage.
All right. Well, looks like the pace lights are on the pace car, so we'll let you go ahead and focus up and get ready for this restart here. Thank you for coming into the booth for us, though.
Yeah, absolutely. CJ, I gave you PMN rights, so or not CJ, Alex. So you should be able to pull
Okay.
people in going forward. But if not, just come on in and get me
Alright.
in. I'll fix it.
I'll test it now.
All right.
I do.
Look
All
at
right.
that. Oh man, we are high rolling now.
We have the PMN roll. My goodness.
Oh gosh. Don't nobody tell Brian.
Yeah, we're flying too close to the sun. Our wax wings are gonna melt. Yeah, the pace car lights are out. Roman Grosjean, James Langevin, is going to be on this restart here. As he's going through the pace car. I was trying to think of a driver that ran into a pace car, and I can't
Kyle
remember
Busch.
his name. Kyle Busch. That works, and he's quick starting. There's going to be no issues there on the brakes.
Yeah, good start for Langevin. Man, he
Catches
caught
every-
them napping.
Exactly. Yeah, got everyone napping there, and I think they're going to catch a slipstream still, and I'm going to actually pop down to Garrett Hagan here, see what he's doing here. It's the closest battle on track between him and James Watson. If they battle, they might be able to get a gap on James Langevin here, but looks like James Watson has his slipstream.
Watson going along the outside. Oh, and it looks like he made it stick. That's the first time I think we've seen anybody really go along the outside and make something happen with it. Let's see if he can finish off the pass here, though, going through 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's very hard to finish off the pass here. I don't know if James is going to back down here. Yeah, he's still alongside, and Garrett is right up into this battle here. Is he going to take it 3 wide?
I think he thought about it for a second and then decided against it. You know, we're only on lap 39. We still have 62 laps or so to go in this thing. Let's just try and bring her home here as he gets very close to James Langevin there, mid-corner.
Yeah, James Langevin, I think, had to check up a bit. Yeah. On the line here at Rockingham. Tim Dell's going for the aggressive move down the inside.
Well, I don't know that it was so aggressive as James kind of forced him down there almost. You know, he told him, "You were not going to get by me, not in this corner." Of course, we know how Tim is. He's very crafty. If he wants by you, he will either find a way or he'll crash the car trying.
Yeah, especially in a race like this where nothing really matters. Anybody can see.
Nothing
really
matters. This is just a race purely for egos and for fun.
For egos, for fun, and for Bohemian Rhapsody.
Ooh. You see a little door banging going on there between James Langevin and Tim Dells.
Looks like almost 3 wide here. Between the back 3 here. James Watson is kind of just enjoying some kind of free air, I guess. He's happily sitting up there, and he's been riding those butter sticks successfully like this whole night so far.
Yeah, I'm curious if it's a bit like curbs at road courses where you get that little bit of slick spot on the inside and it kind of helps turn the car. And
Oh,
you see some contact between Tim and James again. Tim getting into the right rear there, James Langevin.
I don't think James even knew he was there.
Meanwhile, Garrett Hagan looking on the outside of James Watson. Ooh, overcooked it going into the corner though.
Let's go ahead and jump on board Garrett Hagan on the roll bar here.
Tim Dell's looking inside, but has nowhere to go with James Watson there right in front of him.
Tim Dells is down on the inside. Garrett Hagan.
Will Garrett try a crossover here though?
Looks like he's content just to put it inside, and Tim Dells is right on the back of James Watson. Is he finally going to be able to get a move around the outside here? You could not put anything between these three drivers right now. They are so close.
Oh, no. You could fit a blanket over all three of them for sure, and James Langford would not be too far outside of it. It's like Tim had an issue there in corner exit as Garrett Hagan gets by, looking at the outside again of James Watson. I just don't think... Oh, James Watson tightens on corner entry. Kind of pushes Garrett up the track there. It looks like Garrett's just going to get freight trained now.
Now James is coming into the picture as it's 3 wide behind James Watson.
Oh,
and Tim
Tim gets in the back of James Watson.
That is... Well, we'll have to take a review of that.
Oh, actually, no. I stand corrected. It was not Tim getting into the back of James Watson. It looks like James got loose on corner entry.
Oh, yeah.
Similar to how Tim did earlier, and Tim was just too close to do anything about it. And Garrett, unfortunately, was just an innocent bystander.
Yeah, and James Langevin lucked out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has the right strategy here. Just take it nice and slow, stay with them, but not on top of them. And, you know, by the end of the race, you might find yourself with a fast repair or two to burn, whereas these guys might not, and that might come into play. He can risk it all and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'm taking a review. Yeah, there's nowhere Garrett could have gone. He was on the outside, kind of committed there. So we'll see who comes down pit road. Looks like everyone's gonna take a trip. Garrett almost took a trip into the pit wall.
Into the attenuator there, yeah.
Oh, is that what that's
English
called?
is hard. Attenuator. There we go.
I just assumed it was all pit road or pit walls. Yeah, that was a very bad crash, Kagan. Could you imagine if there was 18 of these cars on the track or 20? We couldn't keep track of this at all. I don't know if Brian does.
Yeah, it's much easier with just 4 cars. Yeah, you don't miss a thing, and it's great. All right, let's see what pit stop times look like here.
Do you think fast repairs are starting to become more and more rare?
I think they are, yeah. Let's see. Long pit stops for everybody.
I wonder if they're trying to just take repairs
instead
of a fast repair.
So first out of the box there was James Langevin.
Yeah, he obviously
James Watson second.
No damage. That looks like full tires and fuel for James Langevin, I would imagine, with that pit stop time. And I think Tim Dells and Garrett Hagan are trying to save their fast repairs. Or maybe they forgot to click their fast repairs. That's a possibility too.
I think it might be the opposite there. I think maybe they had them on the first few stops and then they realized, hey, I can't burn through these all the time. So I think they're trying to just maybe repair the damage naturally or maybe fill up on fuel.
I'm trying to think. This would be the 3rd fast repair for Tim Dells, and they only had 3, so he might have run out. Might have accidentally used one on one of the cautions whenever he didn't need to. But they're both
Garrett Hagan coming over the radio said he forgot to check his fast repair. Unfortunately, he has about 16 minutes worth of required repairs, so...
That is unfortunate. That will most likely be his race run.
Yeah, it's done.
And we're joined in the booth by Garrett Hagan.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get enough waiver rounds for that.
I don't know, with the amount of cautions that we've had so far.
It's true.
It's not
never
impossible.
say never.
I don't know. Even our caution laps are a minute 10, so I need about 16 more cautions, but you never know.
Another interesting note, Tim Dells also still on pit road.
Yeah, I believe he's just doing requireds, trying to save his... or he's just doing optionals, trying to save his quick repair.
So what happened there? Did you guys just take him early and didn't think about it, or?
Pretty much. I think you guys... I almost ran into the wall because I lost attention. I wasn't paying attention. And that kind of scared me enough that the entire time down pit lane I forgot to check the fast repair. So it's kind of hoping that they'd let me, drive forward a little bit and reset. But then when it's just required, they don't let you leave the box. But if it's optional, you can and back into it. So yeah, unfortunately, that's my race run. It was pretty fun. I like these cars, and although we didn't have too many people, we were making a grand old time of it anyways.
Yeah, it makes me kind of wonder if we should have like a mini season of radicals in the off season feel like that would be an enjoyable change of pace. I feel like these cars still have a lot of potential in them.
Yeah, it seems like the officials are always pretty well populated, and they're a fun car to drive. I know Tim was complaining because he couldn't see out of his right side because of that roll cage, but you know, us peasants like me with only one monitor, I can't see on my right side anyway. So it'll be interesting to see what a little two-car duel looks like here, because we'll pretty much, that'll be the last half of the race.
You want to join us in commentating? You know what they say, 3
Well.
commentators for 2 cars.
Yeah, you know, 3 might be a crowd at that point.
I was going to say, interesting to note here, though, Tim is still on pit road as well, so you're battling it out with him, really, for the final podium spot.
That is
Oh
true.
yeah, we'll see how many laps down he goes, but the way he reacted to my reaction of having 17 minutes of required repairs, it did not sound like he would also be waiting the 17 minutes with me. And I mean, with 2 cars, hopefully they can make it a pretty good show. The draft is pretty good here, and it's pretty easy to stay close. But I think Watson was showing that if the leader's able to hold that yellow line, you're not getting by him on the outside. Tim's able to make it work because he has, again, triple monitors, so he's able to look to his left and see just how close he is with that car. And to make it work, you have to hold that side draft. I'm just not as familiar with these cars and don't have that point of view, so I won't be able to make it work. It was a lot of fun though. I enjoyed these cars. It's been a while since I've driven them.
I have updated the stream title to Duel of the James.
Isn't it? Is it DUAL?
No.
What's that?
Duel
what am I
is,
thinking of?
Duel is like, that's like 2.
Okay. Yep. See, I always failed English, but I was great at physics. So if you ever need any force equations, I'll have a notebook somewhere.
Okay, how do we make
Force
an
is just
amateur
mass times
racing
acceleration.
car fast?
That's a simple one.
You weren't supposed to know that.
No, James Langevin is stretching a lead here for the first time tonight.
Yeah, up over 4/10, although looks like towards the end of the straightaways, Watson is closing that gap. I don't know. I don't have any data here that shows me lap over lap what it's looking like, but
Yeah, if Watson's gonna want to get by here, he's gonna have to get a pretty good run going off of the straight. Like I was saying earlier, it's so hard to pass on the outside that, especially with only 2 cars, you have no one behind you pushing on the outside or on the inside. So you really need to get a good run, and hope either Langevin makes a mistake and cross over, which has been pretty powerful here. It's happened a lot with second and third behind Watson, or just pass him on the straight, not give him the opportunity to cover it off in the corner.
oh man, is James Langevin about half a second faster that lap than James Watson. He is just letting his hair down and going for it now that both Garrett and Tim have seemed to be out of contention. Maybe not necessarily out of the race. I'm sure they might run out there, see if they can beat each other. Because at the moment, Garrett just scored in the final podium spot. So if Tim can get his damage repaired before Garrett does, then he might be able to steal that away from you.
I think we were both on the same lap, so I think all he has to do is basically leave his pit box and make it 1 lap. Not even a full lap. He can leave the pits and re-enter the pits again, and he will be scored in front of me. But it seemed like Watson on that lap, he's letting off into 1 now and kind of saving his tires. So I think he might try to just make it to the end and realize that it's not going to be able to go to caution as long as he keeps it clean, and so does Langevin. So there's no point in fighting and just saving the tires, saving fuel.
That's true. He might be just letting James Langevin kind of use his stuff up here and just sit back and slowly reel him in. Because I mean, we still have, let's see here, about 37 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean his lap times have definitely decreased in the race. He's doing low to high 23s now, whereas Real race laps are 22.7s, 22.8s, 22.9s. So I mean, he's losing about a second a lap to what he normally does. So he's definitely just saving those tires and trying to make it to the end.
Yeah, James Watson last time by 23.159. Although that was actually faster than James Langevin last time. However, the lap before I saw Watson ran a 23.6, which is about a second off his best time, right about what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, with only 2 cars on track, it's pretty easy to notice what the other guy's doing, right? I mean, Langevin doesn't just see a 3-second gap and think nothing of it. So he's got to understand what Watson's doing at this point.
It looks like Tim Dale's off pit road after 8.5 minutes of repairs.
Man, you hate to see it. Let's see, I still have about
car
8.5 minutes
good,
of
though.
repairs. Well, what I do have the benefit of if he's pretty slow is that I do actually still have my fast repair, so I don't have to use or wait the other 4 minutes for my optionals. The downside of that is I still have 8 minutes of required, so he's gonna have to be going pretty slow for me to be able to catch him. But
let's see, I'll tell you this time by here. Let's see,
right now he's 16 laps down, I believe.
Last time by at 24.334.
Now see, with a quick repair, I should be able to lap about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds quicker than that. But I don't believe we have nearly enough time left in the race for me to even get near him and lap him back enough to get that spot.
Unfortunately not, I don't think so.
But you know, as disappointing as a P4 would be, a P4 out of 10 isn't too bad.
Yeah, 10.
I'll take it. Hey, that's what iRacing's story will be, and I'm sticking to it.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Usually I struggle to get a top 10 whenever we have 7 drivers, so.
It's all right as long as you have fun, right?
Yeah.
That's what I always tell myself when I spin into the wall in lap 3 after putting it on pole.
Oh, we got Tim
At least I'm
Dales
having
right ahead
fun.
of James Langevin here. Is there going to be any funny business?
I doubt it. I mean, it's a
I don't
fun
think
race.
Tim has enough speed to even consider funny business, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm finally getting a look at Tim's back end there. It is not looking too healthy.
No. It looks like he might have backed that up just one too many times.
It'll be interesting to see if he can keep the draft with Langevin. I doubt he'll be able to. I think his arrow is just that messed up that he'll be able to keep it.
Oh yeah, already it looks like he's probably fallen all the way out of the draft.
But can he maybe
His last time by, he ran a 24.172.
Can he maybe slingshot James Watson up into second, though, to challenge?
That is a real possibility.
As he blocks him on corner entry there. That's not going to help the times.
It does look like Watson's tires are starting to fall off a little bit. It seems like he's having to catch it a little on corner entry. So, I mean, they still got another 20-some laps left.
Watson is starting to kind of flip the script on James Langevin, though. Last time by at 22.8, Langevin at 23.1. And same story this time by, although not quite as fast. The 23.1 again for Langevin and a 23 flat for James Watson. So he's slowly eating into this lead. I think saving tires was, his go from the restart there.
Yeah, I mean, as short as this track is, that half a tenth here or there is quite enough to kind of reel James back in. No matter what, I think that James is going to win tonight.
He gained a full tenth. I don't believe in psychics, but I think you might be right, Alec.
Do you remember, this is going to be only people from Pennsylvania would know this, but you remember a few years ago whenever we had 2 Toms running for governor?
I do.
Yeah. That was, I always talked about how it's like, Tom's definitely going to win. And like, some people get mad at me and they're like, you don't know that. It's like, they're both named Tom. They're like, oh, right, yeah.
I mean, it's like that Spider-Man meme where all three Spider-Men are sitting there pointing at each other. While we're talking about men named Tom, James Watson took another 10th out of Langevin lead. Actually, and another 10th that last lap, so he's now taken him at about a 10th a lap with, 20 some to go. He'll only need 17 or 18 laps at this pace.
It's looking like a lot more than a 10th this time by gap currently down to 1.5 seconds. It was 1.9 at the start of this lap.
Yeah.
A 22.9 that time by for Watson, a 23.2 for James Langevin. I think Langevin's starting to lose it on the tires.
Yeah, well, we really backed it down. We thought that James Langevin just found another gear, but yeah, I think it turned out to be tire saving and fuel saving. And I don't know if there's going to be a green flag pit stop here, but we only got 22 laps left.
There's more than likely going to have to be. I was pretty close on fuel that last pit stop where I screwed up my quick repair, and they haven't pitted since. So it'll be interesting to see. Right now it's telling me that I have about 54 laps of fuel, but that's also me sitting in the pits. So
We're on lap
close.
31 of this stint, so it'll definitely be curious if they're going to be able to make it on fuel or not. I think they're going to be able to make it.
So their last lap, their last pit lap was 49 or 48 for Watson, and
they pit on the same lap.
Yeah. So they're both going to be.
Timothy Dell's joining us in the booth.
If you guys would like a little insight on fuel strategy,
we would actually.
Right now they are both 3 laps to the good.
Oh wow!
Okay.
So, this
so
is just
fuel
gonna
not a
come
factor. It's going to come down to tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, I threatened to throw a caution for a green-white checker to stretch it out, but yeah, they're 3 laps to the good. Obviously James Watson was going with the tire management strategy, and Langevin was going with the hard running strategy, and you guys are watching. It looks like there's a race happening right there.
There's absolutely a race. We're on board with James Watson here. James Langevin got a little out of shape in the last corner this last lap. We'll see if he can tidy it up this time around. It looks like every single time he turns in, it looks like it's trying to step out on him there.
I wonder if he's putting a little too much wheel in it, because so the car pushes on entry just a touch, and then the front grabs, so I wonder if he's just putting too much wheel into it.
Yeah, I imagine he's suffering with tire wear at this point. But we got 15 laps to go, or 16 laps to go.
16 laps to go. And I think right now, Watson's just kind of sitting there trying to find the right time to make a move, because he's been right around 3/10 behind Langevin for the last 3 or 4 laps. So I think he's just waiting for Langevin to make a mistake so he can capitalize.
Yeah, we saw early on in the runs that it's hard to go around the outside, so I imagine that he doesn't want to fight himself around the outside on this track, especially with his worn tires.
Absolutely. I think he's definitely waiting to get close enough to Langevin that he can make a move on the inside, although with Langevin having used up his stuff already, I don't know that he's going to be able to defend the same way that we saw Watson defending earlier, where he just hugged the butter bar there at the bottom and nobody could get by. So I think within a few laps, if Langevin doesn't make a mistake before then, I think Watson's going to push him and maybe try and force one out of him.
Yeah, it's coming down to the wire here, but I guess at the same time, you don't want to take it too early, because then you're going to give the other driver the slipstream for the end.
Exactly, yeah. It all comes down to timing and making that move at the exact right time so your opponent doesn't have time to make a counter.
And of course,
I'd like to correct you, sir, since we're on a NASCAR track. We call it the draft and not the slipstream.
this is, of course, for all the marbles in the last series. Whoever wins this gets all the bragging rights for the year. So
That's
this
absolutely
is hugely
right.
important.
Watson does appear to have gotten a little bit closer now, about 1.5 2/10 off the back of Langevin. Although Langevin seems to be fighting the car very heavily.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop on board into the cockpit. Let's see if we can hear if there's lifting going into the corner or not. Looks like he's making corrections in the middle of the corner and stuff, so his tires are definitely going.
Yeah, there's a little oversteer there on corner exit coming out of 4 for Watson, so I think maybe their tires have caught up. It's all going to come down to the driver here in these last 11 laps or so.
And there's a moving chicane on track ahead of this battle.
And its name is Tim Dells.
I was a little worried there. I was finally able to get out of the pits. New tires and lost it coming out of 2, so I was a little worried it was going to cause a caution and screw up the race a little bit, make it look like I was trying to mess with it, but
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, it looks like James Watson is really closing in now. I think he's realizing his time is running out and he's going to have to find a way by.
I'm wondering if maybe, and Gary or Tim, you may be able to answer this. I'm wondering if he's just experiencing aero push, because it seems like he gets about a tenth and a half behind Langevin and then just falls right back to about 2.5, 3/10, and he just can't seem to get around him.
Oh, he's got quite a run now.
I've been watching.
Oh,
it looks
James
like
Langevin is
Langevin
out of
loose.
shape. But he
It
holds
looks
on
like
to it.
he's-
James Watson's going to get by him.
looks like he might just be trying to be careful with it, with the throttle coming out, because he's losing a run at the end. If he was catching it, he would start losing it a lot sooner.
Watson, though, able to get by Langevin when he did make that mistake that I mentioned earlier. So let's see if maybe Langevin can catch up to the back of Watson here and kind of force the same mistake that he just had.
Yeah, I think
Has
James
7 laps to go.
James Langevin was hugging that inside, did not want to give James Watson a chance to get down the inside, but yeah, he just got tight on corner and almost spun out, but he caught it. So we'll see if James Langevin has anything for James Watson here.
The James on James show.
I already changed the stream title to the Duel of the James.
Perfect. I guess I could just pit in and watch at this point because I'm about 25 laps clear of Garrett. So I don't think he's going to catch me.
Easy now.
Ooh, Langevin loose again, going through 1 and 2.
He's trying to find a way by.
Tim can attest. Watson is going to be able to hold this yellow line. It was so hard earlier trying to get past him that I don't see Langevin being able to do it on old tires.
Well, I can tell you that when we used to run these in the league, I was lucky enough to win a race here in this car, and holding the bottom is not necessarily ideal on warm tires, or worn tires.
Oh,
Oh,
back from
he-
Watson as Langevin goes on the inside.
He gave him the bump and run. That was classic Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte at Bristol right there.
3 laps to go. James Langevin is your leader.
Do we have a new rivalry on our hands?
Yeah, you have Delson Salisbury and James.
Sounds like a bad law firm. I would not want to have them supporting me.
Law firm
James
of,
and
of
James.
James and Delson Salisbury. They're terrible at everything.
2 to go. As
If-
Watson
if-
gets a run on the outside.
Oh, is he
Well,
gonna?
And that's what I was going to say is that when I was lucky enough to win win the league race here, I made the move in 3 and 4 on the outside and was able to get basically in that second groove and get a side draft and pull off of the corner. So it'll be interesting.
Final
with
lap.
Langevin
Watson.
taking the white flag.
Come on, Langevin. I told him in the thing, I might race for James Watson, but not on Tuesdays.
Oh, big run
Oh,
for
big
Watson.
run.
Go down the
Gonna move
back
out the
straight. He's going to
outside.
go around the outside.
That's that perfect line. He's a little too high, but I think he's going to make it. If I was Langevin, I would take the dog leg.
And it's
And
going
it's
to.
a photo
Watson at the
finish.
line.
Is it Watson?
Should've-
It's Watson.
It was Watson
Oh,
by 2/1000ths of a second.
what a photo finish. I got to go
Oh,
back.
man. Wait, hang on a second. I feel like I've heard that line before. What was the gap with Kurt Busch and
Yeah, 2/1000ths.
crazy how nature do that? What a finish there from James Langevin
Oh,
and
man.
James Watson. Absolute heartbreak for Langevin, but he left it all out there. I mean, it doesn't get any closer than that, really.
I think I can speak the most to what Langevin might be feeling right now, and I'd like to hear it a little bit later. But after Darlington, it's one of those feelings that your heart just sits in your stomach, and I'm that point was for that race was for points. I'm not sure how this one felt, but or the emotions that Langevin was putting into it, but it's one of those just your mouth is what's the saying? Your mouth goes to your stomach. You just can't come up with the words to describe it.
Yeah, that is such a close finish, and 4 cars, but boy, were we entertained the whole night.
Surprisingly entertaining. Yeah, this is why we say less is more. But with that, let's go ahead and get on with the post-race festivities. There's James Langevin right on time.
Hey, my man.
Welcome everybody. I guess I don't know if Garrett or Tim, you want to say anything before we get to the main event here between the two Jameses, but
Absolutely not. Get to the big battle of the night.
yeah, we as soon as the big incident with Garrett and Tim in the pits, we instantly changed the stream title to Duel of the James, and you guys delivered. So
Yeah.
that was a fantastic race. What are you guys thinking? I guess we'll start with the runner-up here. What are you thinking coming across the line at such a close finish?
Man, I thought that could have gone either way. It was so close at the end there, and we were scrapping back and forth. James made an awesome save there, and man, yeah, it was just an epic last lap. Just I wasn't sure what line to take right at the last line, but yeah, no, congrats to James. That was fun as hell.
Yeah, we saw the little bit of the bump and run there with like 3 laps to go. We thought you pulled a Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte.
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
But
did you appreciate that, James Watson? And how talk us through those last few laps of that battle there?
Yeah, no, he never actually touched me. We never made contact
it
there.
was clean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just went into the corner and she got loose, and I kind of had a feeling that's what was gonna happen, so I was already kind of ready. And once I felt it start to go, I'm like, ah, crap. So I kind of made a little jink to the right. That was just enough to help me get back control of it and chase up the track and hang on to it. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to get back to him. I knew if I could, I was gonna have an opportunity because keeping the lead, uh, you needed to run down at the yellow line to keep the lead. But if you time it just right on the outside coming out of the corner, you'd be able to edge him, which wouldn't do you much good early in the race. But coming to the line, that's the race-winning strategy. So I tried to keep it as close to him as I could, and coming out of 4, and just prayed I had enough left in enough motor left to get him up the line, and just barely got him.
Yeah, that was an incredibly close finish. I don't know if you have any thoughts, CJ, you want to ask?
No, just absolutely great driving by you guys. It was a great job of saving the equipment there for James Watson, and Langevin, kind of took the opposite approach, went as hard as he could, and it came out practically the same. It was just that last corner. Watson got a little bit better of a run than Langevin did. Absolutely great race though. 2 1,000ths of a second was the winning gap there.
Did you guys happen to see my my epic pit spin?
Yes.
Yes, we absolutely did.
Okay, great.
That'll be on the ESPN.
Will that be on the highlights?
Yeah,
for sure.
We'll get it on.
Okay.
What is the morning round of the ESPN? I don't know.
Yeah, the top 10.
The top 10, yeah, the top.
We'll put it right there
Bloopers?
with me driving into the back of Watson and Garrett on that restart.
Yeah, that was a couple of
Yeah.
comical errors. But yeah, that was a fantastic night. We got 4 drivers out there. These cars are still really good after a couple seasons away from these. So we were talking maybe even like a mini series in the off season with these cars, just like maybe.
That would be a lot of fun.
It would be
Just
for sure.
hear me out. What if we picked, say, 2 tracks, right? And they were tracks that had oval and road course options. and you did oval road course, and you only ran 2 tracks.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
And I'll let y'all in on a secret right now. For Alec, we'll give you a little boost in the ratings here. Will Alcala, who's taken over the Tuesday League, has an idea for a mini series in the off season that he's going to pick one car, most likely a rally car, and we're going to do a 4-race series at one track that has oval, road, or 2 road options and a rally option. And we're going to run one car at one track in 4 different configurations for a little mini series.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Cool.
I'm
Cool.
trying to think what course that would be. I believe it would have to be Phoenix, right?
I believe you're right, but I can't say that officially because it's not my job.
Neither confirm nor deny.
I cannot confirm nor deny that it will be Phoenix.
It'll be interesting. That'll be a pretty
Yeah.
fun, fun concept. I don't think there's very many people that do something where you race the same course over and over in all these different configurations to see, what the course designer was thinking. I always enjoy looking at tracks like Monza that have that different configuration where it's, Monza has an oval that you can take both ways, and it's really cool to look at what people can do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. As the league owner, when I was planning the official schedule and we were going to Monza, I thought about adding the combined course. So you had to do the oval lap and then on to the road course. But after running it a couple times, I was like, well, I can't get around it, so I'm certainly not going to put that on the schedule.
Yeah, I can't really blame you much for that one. After watching a race like this, I don't think anybody might have had that much fun there, but it's a fun concept nevertheless.
Yeah. Any other thoughts before we sign off the broadcast tonight?
Good racing, boys. Looking forward to next time.
Mr. Watson, will we see you next week in the Rockingham official?
More than likely.
There you have it.
All right, yeah, and as Tim does say, there is the official next Tuesday with the P217s and the official challenge series. And I think that, I don't know what the next Thursday is in the Indy cars. Is that Red Bull Ring?
Red Bull
Yes.
Ring next Thursday, yes,
And
sir.
Those will both be on twitch.tv/performance_motor_network, I believe, and their YouTube channel. So be on the lookout for those. And yeah, as always, thanks so very much for watching.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. Have a great night.
Cheers, guys.